In the last segment, we covered dimensional analysis using English system like feet and inches. In this one, we're switching over to using the SI system a little bit. We still can do conversions between prefixes and base units using dimensional analysis. We just need to remember what this chart tells us. This chart is designed to tell us how much of the base unit is in any one of these prefixes. So to do this, when we're setting up a relationship, it's always one of the prefix is this many of the base unit. So for example, 1 decameter is 10 meters. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. On the other side, 1 centigram would be 1/100th of a gram, or 1 microsecond would be 1/1,000,000th of a second. So the key to doing anything with this chart is remembering this chart tells you the multiplier is how many of the base units there are, or what fraction of the base unit is in one of these prefixes. So for example, if we want to know how grams and kilograms relate to one another, we can begin by writing the base unit and the prefix separated by an equal sign. You find the prefix unit, which is kilograms, and you put a 1 in front of it. Then go to the chart and find that prefix. In this case, it's kilo. Kilo, the multiplier listed is 1,000, so we fill that in front of the base unit. So it'll be 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. Make sure you notice that to the right of the base unit, we can express this as a decimal or a fraction, or on either side we can actually use scientific notation to express these also. But if we use it as a fraction, sometimes it allows us to make the algebra a little bit simpler. Okay, here is a conversion factor based on that relationship. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Just like on the last slide with 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. It's about the prefix and the base, not what the base is. So again, 1 in front of kilo because that's our prefix, and the multiplier in front of kilo is 1,000, so that goes in front of meters. 1 kilometer divided by 1,000 meters is equal to 1. 1,000 meters divided by 1 kilometer is equal to 1. And that brings us back to what a conversion factor is. It's numbers equal to 1 that show how these two things are related. In this sample problem, we're asked to convert kilograms to grams. So first thing we do is look to see if we have a prefix unit and a base unit, which we do, because the chart only tells you how to relate the base unit to a prefix. We start by writing out kilograms is equal to grams. We place 1 in front of kilograms because that's the prefix. According to the chart, the multiplier for kilo is 1,000, so that goes in front of grams. That's everything we need for the conversion factor. So we begin with our first bracket and we write the given. As a fraction. To put the conversion factor in, we look at what we're getting rid of, which is kilograms. Kilograms will go down here, and whatever we're converting to will go up top, which is grams. Double check, make sure your numbers are going in the right place. The 1,000 grams is up top, 1 by kilograms on the bottom, kilograms cancels out, and we end up with this times 1,000, which is 6.61 grams. A couple more examples that are done similarly. This one is kilograms and grams again, so 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. 1 goes in front of the prefix. Whatever the multiplier is, we put that in front of the base, which is 1,000 here. Setting this up as 0.650 kilograms over 1. And kilograms is canceling, so that goes on the bottom. Grams up top once again. Double check to make sure the 1,000 is in front of grams, and the 1 in front of kilograms, cancel. And multiply, we get 650 grams. Now is also a good time to review sig figs. This original one had 3 significant figures. So after the conversion is done, it needs to keep 3 significant figures. So we put a decimal point here so that it still has all 3. In the next problem, we're dealing with a smaller unit, centimeters, converting to a larger unit, meters. The rule is still put 1 in front of the prefix, but when you look at the chart, the multiplier is listed as a decimal. It's 0.01 or 1/100th of a meter. Setting up the problem, 6,250 centimeters over 1. We're getting rid of centimeters, so that goes on the bottom. Meters up top, and it's 1 in front of the prefix. This multiplier is in front of the base unit, and centimeters cancel. Multiplying those two numbers together gives us 62.5 meters. The original problem only had 3 significant figures in the given, so we keep only 3 significant figures in the answer, so 62.5 is rounded correctly. This problem uses a smaller unit. This is mu for micrometer, and we're comparing meters to micrometers with 1 in front of the prefix, and the multiplier is a millionth. So 0.000001. Set up your first bracket, given, written as a fraction. Meters is up top, so we'll put it on the bottom here. And micrometers up top. 1 in front of the prefix, 1/1,000,000th in front of meters. Meters cancels, and when we do the calculation and keep 3 significant figures, it becomes 67.3 micrometers. Now all of these so far have been only 1 conversion factor. On the next slide we see ones that are a little bit more involved. Whenever we're converting from one prefix to another prefix, you must first convert it to the base unit, so it becomes 2 conversion factors. So in this problem, centigrams cannot go right to kilograms because they're both prefixes. So centigrams has to be converted to grams, and then grams is converted to kilograms. The relationships we'll use are based on centigrams and grams, and it'll be 1 centigram is 0.01 grams, and then the next one will be 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Just like the English system ones we did, we begin with our given written as a fraction, and we link the 2 conversion factors together after it. So the first conversion factor here goes from centigrams to grams. We look only at what we're getting rid of and what we're going to. This is what we're getting rid of on the bottom, centigrams, and we're going to grams. When we put the next bracket in, we do the same thing again. We look only at where we are and where we're going. So that's what goes in your conversion factor, grams and kilograms. Grams on the bottom so that it will cancel, kilograms up top. When we do the math here, we have 4 sig figs to start with, and we keep 4 sig figs at the end, so it'll be 675.2 kilograms. We have a couple more examples of 2-step conversions. Kilometers has to be converted to meters before you can convert it to centimeters. Laying out the conversion factors, we have 1 kilogram is 1,000 meters is the first relationship. 1 is in front of the prefix, multiplier in front of the base. The second conversion factor deals with meters and centimeters. It'll be 1 centimeter and 0.01 meters. Begin writing the given as a fraction and put 2 brackets after it. So, kilometers is the first thing we're getting rid of. You look again only at what you're getting rid of and what you're going to. Kilometers down here to get rid of it, meters up top. Check to make sure your numbers end up in the right places. 1 kilometer, 1,000 meter, Kilometers cancels. Getting rid of meters and going to centimeters. Meter on the bottom, centimeters up top. 1 centimeter is 100th of a meter. Meters cancel. When we do the calculation, we end up with 31 meters or 310 centimeters. 2 sig figs to start with, 2 sig figs at the end. This one from centimeters to micrometers. They're both prefixes, so we'll take centimeters to meters first, and then meters to micrometers. 1 centimeter is 100th of a meter. 1 micrometer is 1,000,000th of a meter. You start with the given, and the given has to be written as a fraction. We have 2 brackets, 2 conversion factors. First one, 1 centimeter is on the bottom so that it cancels. Up top, 0.01 meters, centimeters cancels. And in the next bracket, it's 1 micrometer over 1,000,000th of a meter, with meters canceling. Okay, so as we go from centimeters to meters, the number's actually getting smaller. We're adding 2 more zeros after the decimal point, but then when it goes to micro, it's going to be bigger. It's going to come out to 76.1 micrometers. And 3 sig figs to start, 3 sig figs at the end. One last one to do for practice. We're working with the prefix millimeters and going to centimeters, so our first stop is to go to meters before centimeters. This one we'll set up as we go. We begin with 25.7 millimeters, written as a fraction, with 2 brackets after it. Again, look only at what we're getting rid of and what we're going to. So millimeters to meters. Millimeters will be down here, so it cancels. Meters up top, and it's 1 millimeter is 0.001 meters, with millimeters canceling. In my next bracket, I'm getting rid of meters and going to centimeters, so meters will go down here, centimeters up here. 1 centimeter is 100th of a meter, and the meters cancel. After all of the math is done, we end up with 2.57 centimeters with 3 significant figures.